Alrighty, I think that this is about, I think that we've got enough people in here to get going. Everybody, today we're going to be listening to Dennis Plummer, our CEO here at Heading Home, tell us about our new core values. And also, we're going to get into some of the new work that we're doing out in Gallup, New Mexico. So I will stop talking, and without further ado, Dennis, take it away.
Great. So welcome to another educational cafe. We really enjoyed our time with you all. And not only the small group that gathers with us each month, but we're also able then to post those on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. And we've had significant number of views following these broadcasts. So we've had easily between 200 to 300 subsequent views. So thank you for being a live audience with us. Today what we'll be doing today is focusing a quick update on where we've been in 2020 and also our core values, which we have recently launched and are very excited about. And then we'll be telling you about a new work that we're doing. As you can see, this is not my normal office. I'm in a hotel room in Gallup, New Mexico. And we're beginning some critical, essential work here in Gallup in partnership with the city of Gallup and our friends and collaborators here, as well as the state Secretary Blaylock's office in particular. So I first want to start with a quick summary of 2020, a year that I think many of us are glad is behind us. And yet we had, amid the significant challenges, some remarkable accomplishments. Our staff, as some of you know from following us, put in extensive hours, especially at the onset of the pandemic. At 1 month, we paid over 10,000 hours of overtime. That's how much staff were working. Everyone was in the shelters and working the weekends, pulling double shifts. And so I am so incredibly proud of the Heading Home staff. And that is literally everyone responding, doing jobs that were not their jobs amid a pandemic and a very scary time, to be quite frank. But we went from operating 2 shelters to operating 5 shelters. Then we have now moved back to our normal AOC operation, the West Side operation. We operate 2 wellness hotels. These are for people at high risk. They have comorbidities, and so they're high risk for COVID. And they're usually 65 and older generally, but also families. We have a 3rd wellness hotel pretty specifically dedicated to families. And then we also are supporting 2 of the COVID hotels, which are sites where people who are COVID positive or recovering are cared for by the medical staff. Heading Home was really lucky to be part of at least a 30-person collaboration that's met daily on the phone, including weekends until only recently as September. We literally met every day, all 30 of us, from the state level to the hospitals to Heading Home to our partner agencies. And we've been working to move people into areas of safety. So I was joking today with 11 new staff that I hired this morning, and I'll be telling you about them here in Gallup. But I was telling them that the infection rate at the West Side Emergency Shelter, which is the largest operation in Albuquerque. Currently, we have about 300 people there. The infection rate is 1.5%. The infection rate in the general population is 10.6%. So it's actually safer to be in the shelter right now than it is to be in the public. And that's not, it's not by chance. It is very specifically because of our staff and our partners' deliberate, methodical work to move to keep people safe. So 2020 was immense. What you're seeing scrolling right now are the new core values that Heading Home holds. And I want to go briefly through each one of these core values. And I'll follow Nick's lead as he pauses on each one onto a poster. And I'll talk about each of the core values. There are 5 core values. Each has a logo, each has a specific color, and then each has subsequent details that I will share when Nick is able to flip over to those.
So I'm thinking that we should start with one that has been really relevant, at least this month, and let's go with agility first.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
This is actually one of my favorite ones, and agility doesn't mean that we're really good at doing yoga poses. That would be nice. But what it does mean is that we meet challenges with creative solutions, that we are dynamic, and that we seek out collaborative outcomes, and that we respond to needs in real time. As I was onboarding the staff in Gallup today, we talked about agility being an example of what they all are doing here, which is, we'll share in a bit a video of the site. They're being hired very specifically for jobs. However, they're having to be agile, because what we need right now are people with wash rags and brooms and vacuum cleaners to really move about. And so they're being and living out agility for us. Let's go to the next one.
All right.
And as we do these, you're able to adjust your own viewing screen if you need to. If you're on Zoom, you can go to the top. You can expand the percentage of viewing. So this was deliberate care and kindness, where we purposely create an environment of respect and compassion. This is really important. This is where we serve everyone with dignity and respect, and that we go the extra mile, that we practice active listening, and we engage with patience, and we create safe environments. So this is not only how we expect to treat our clients, our residents, or a new term that I'm learning out here in Gallup, as we treat our relatives. I really like that we think of those that we're serving as being related to us. And so here in Gallup, we're talking about serving our relatives. And so not only do we do that, but this is also how we expect staff to treat one another, that we're caring and kind to one another. And you can go to the next one. Each of these, as we talk about them, it doesn't mean exactly who we are this moment. It does mean what we aspire to become. And so we're now using these as recruitment tools. This is how we interview toward our values, and we'll also be using them for our performance evaluations. Person-centeredness is that we value people as unique individuals. We meet people where they are. We foster open and honest communication. We strive for quality that exceeds expectations, and we improve lives. So this is very much about meeting people where they are, as it says in the first bullet. And so it's not us coming with the answer and expecting others to achieve what we have. But sometimes we use the phrase, people need a hand up, not a handout. And I'm of the mindset that actually sometimes people do need just a handout. When we say that they need a hand up, it says that I'm up here where you need to be, and I'm going to pull you up to become where I am. Person-centeredness says we're going to meet people where they are, and we're going to talk and walk alongside their journey, letting them help shape what their personal goals and values are, and that we're going to help them improve from their perspective, not from ours. And the next one is inclusivity, that we embrace all people. We honor all voices. We encourage everyone to be part of the solution. We celebrate the diversity of others, and that we remove barriers to success. So inclusivity, as it sounds and as it says, is there are no screening of people out of our programs. If somebody is in need, we're going to be there to include them. And that's all levels of diversity, not only in those we serve, but again, also those that we hire and who are on our staff. And we have one more, which is Unwavering Integrity, not Intergritty. We'll change that. As I said, these are brand new, we're rolling them out, but
Oh, no.
Unwavering Integrity is that we are honest in all actions, that we bring the best versions of ourselves every day, and that we earn the trust by cultivating our commitments, and that we hold, I like this one a lot, we hold ourselves and others accountable for attitudes and actions, and that we own our mistakes and learn from them. So this is really about honest talking, so that if I make a mistake, Nicole can come to me and hold me accountable to that. And I don't have to take it personally or defensively, but knowing it's our core value, this is about lifting one another up to better excellence and exceeding expectations. So those are our core values for heading home. Staff have worked really hard over 2020, even during COVID and all of those extra hours. We were having group discussions and debates and conversations to develop these as our values that we want to live out. As you see in the photographs, we have masks that we have made with this logos on them. We've run out of them, but we did have M&Ms printed, color-coded with the logos on them, so that was fun. We're really using these as a way to celebrate the joy that we live in heading home. So I'm going to set that aside and go to the second part of the presentation, which is our new work here in Gallup. And what I'd like to do this, we're going to test it and see if it works, but I ran around yesterday with my camera, and we think that we can show you a brief video of the site, and I will narrate as we go along. So we'll start here in the city of Gallup, as you can see. And see if it starts moving. Yeah, so this is outside the Lexington Hotel. This is our new site where we plan to do permanent supportive housing. It's located on Route 66, and it's the railroad is directly across the street. Here you can see a lot that we're dumping out. But this entire building will be converted to permanent supportive housing. This will be the main entrance under the canopy. This will be where guests come through that door into the main entrance. And when they come in, this is the view there. They'll come through this set of doors. This will be the reception area where they check in. And over in that corner will be a common area for puzzles, games, talking, conversation. There's some fantastic artwork on the walls from the 1930s, a famous artist named von Hassler, I think it is. So I'm hoping to get maybe some art preservation there. In the back, we have an elevator that goes up. There's a patio that folks can go from the inside and be able to be outdoors safely. This is going back from that main reception area and down the main hall on the first floor. We have a conference room. And then we start having these are the individual rooms that will be single resident occupancy. Some have a shared bathroom because this is really a 1920s, maybe a 1912 even hotel, but some of them have their own bathrooms as this one does. Others, as I said, we're sharing more of kind of a hostel boarding hotel style where they have shared space. Here's an observation room. There will be laundry available for people to be able to do. More rooms to this side, a men's bathroom in the corner. There's looking back where we just walked. And then down this little leg, there are a couple more rooms, and this will become a common area by next Thursday, believe it or not. And if you look out the door, there's the patio again from the other side. So that's most of the first floor. We're going to go up to the second floor now. This is, if you can see it, there we go. Now we're going up the stairs from that main entrance room. And on this floor, we have 21 units. Each unit is slightly different. We're installing new carpet in a number of the rooms. Again, some of these have their own bathrooms, like this one does here. It has a shower. The others, that room there, we'll show just in a minute. That'll be a case management room. This is, yeah, there we go. That'll become case management. But it's set up in a rectangular fashion. So there are rooms down this hallway, and we'll basically go in a rectangle, single rooms. There's a common area on the second floor that is packed full of furniture right now that we're sorting through, but this will become a television relaxing area that people can share as a common space. In their rooms, we plan for them to have their own refrigerator, a small one, a microwave, and a television. We have twin beds that are being delivered next Monday. This is a suite. This is kind of nice. These are two large rooms connected by a bathroom that has a bathtub in it. So we may put family units, families in these units here. And coming around the short end of the rectangle, again, just more rooms that are being worked on. There's the other end of the rectangle. There's a small leg off here that has 4 rooms. So you can see it's going to be a shared living space, but this will become permanent housing for those who choose to live here. More laundry services on this side of the rectangle. This is the other view of the common room there. Down here on the right, there's a kitchen that people can share, so they can actually come and do some cooking, share some in the refrigerator. And again, we're coming around to the 4th corner of that rectangle. There's where we started on the stairs. And one more, this is one of our new staff, Teresa. And we said hi to her in the interview. You can skip on past this. I was asking a little bit about herself, but as I said, we hired 11 folks. Then we have, do you have the offices, Nick, or the kitchen?
Oh, let me check.
There's one more section to the building, which is where we went downstairs and went down the hallway and saw the conference room. If you don't have it, that's fine. But basically what it is an entire section. There's a full commercial kitchen available. So we plan to hire a chef over time who will be cooking for the residents there. And there's a selection of 3 offices and a conference room. Let's see if this is it here. Yes, it is. So we're, again, coming from the main entrance. There's the hallway downstairs, conference room. And if you come through here, there'll be an eating area that we'll set up there. The kitchen, it's currently being certified and inspected, so we're not operational yet, but this will become a full kitchen. We'll start our operations with catering service, supporting local restaurants to supply food for the guests, or as I mentioned earlier, what we call relatives. And then coming through this area, you can see all that we've been sorting. All of that has to be shredded. That's what I spent my weekend pulling those from files. We've got a side office here, another one directly across the way. These will become the director and staff's area. And then this front area, once we sort through everything you're seeing and toss a lot of it, we'll make this our conference area and have a conference room. So that is the Lexington Hotel. And the idea is that here in Gallup, we have, like in Albuquerque, what is the wellness hotel that I mentioned before, people who are at risk of COVID, but that's closing down. It closes on the 31st of this month. And the idea is that we're going to be able to move folks from the wellness hotel to the Lexington Hotel, and they can transition in place. We'll start as an emergency shelter. It'll then become transitional housing and ultimately permanent supportive housing, where the residents will sign their own tenant lease. They become the tenant and on a lease of their unit. They'll pay 30% of their income, And yet all of that transition will be seamless, so that once you move in, somebody moves in next Thursday, they could literally live out the rest of their life in their unit if they so choose to. And we'll be supporting them and surrounding them with the services and community that they would like to have. So hope you got a good glimpse of that. If you have questions, this may, thank you for the applause there. You can type into the chat any questions, and that's also on Facebook. And I know Kim and Nick will help us look through there. But that's a lot of information. Again, what we did in 2020, our core values, and our new work in Gallup. And so you can ask questions about any of those things that you would like to do. And I'm inviting in David and Jane. Welcome. You'll have to replay this, Jane, because we just finished the main presentation, but we're taking questions now for core values, the COVID work, or questions about COVID even. We actually have deep connections with the medical, state medical team here in New Mexico. And FYI for that, so we are in what's called 1A. So for instance, I myself have had my booster shot a couple of days ago. We're very excited and privileged and honored to be able to have staff getting vaccinated. We're advocating for the people that we're serving to be in the 1B category, which we think will happen, and that those that we move here into Gallup will be able to start being vaccinated as well. So I'm connecting with the hospital here in Gallup to get our new staff. And you know what, I might just see if I can show it. Well, I'll tell you what, you'll have to watch our social media over the next couple of days. We had a great group shot of the new staff in Gallup at the Lexington Hotel from our training today. But they're an amazing team. We're really excited. And I will pause there and let Nick let me know if there are any questions that we need to answer for you all.
You know, sorry. So I don't see any questions yet. I'm sure that some will pop up. I actually had a question for you, Dennis, that I was pondering as you're giving your presentation. Is that and this is, I'm curious personally. Is there another shelter site that uses a similar model in the state that we're basing the permanent supportive, they can live out the rest of their days there model off of, or is this your brainchild? I'm curious.
So it's not my brainchild. It is a national model that's been proven successful. It's not done frequently. However, COVID has really expedited people's receptivity to it. So Secretary Blaylock actually has quite a bit of experience in this model in San Francisco before he moved to New Mexico. And so his team, as well as Health and Human Services Department, we're going to be working closely with them to build this model. But, you know, it's interesting, Nick, prior to COVID, I think that we all had a lot of interest of co-housing as many people as we could together. COVID hit, and suddenly that medically is a disaster, and everyone was dispersed. And this is true nationwide. Everyone was dispersed into motels and hotels. And many cities like Albuquerque and Gallup are now asking themselves, how can we take advantage of this window and start flipping either the sites themselves, like we are here at the Lexington, into permanent supportive housing? How do we acquire abandoned properties and add to our housing stock? So it's a really wonderful window of opportunity.
Great, thanks for answering.
Any other questions we have out there?
Well, dang it, Dennis, you were just too concise. I guess everybody got it all on the first pass.
That's fine. I don't mind at all. You know, we're always open if you want to do follow-up. Kim North, who's on this call, is our communications person, and she's very responsive. We have a really high return rate. If you message in Facebook, you can also direct message on Twitter. Again, you can follow us on Instagram. You can go to our website. There are a lot of ways to stay connected. So I'm really grateful for this opportunity, Educational Cafe, to be in touch directly. Feel free to share the YouTube with folks, or if you came in late and want to circle back, again, the topics in this Educational Cafe were 2020, our new core values, and the Lexington Hotel that we are standing up operations. Oh, as a footnote, standing up operations. So on Thursday next week, we should move our first 5 residents in. On Friday, 10 more. And then on Saturday, a week from now, we should have everyone here and be fully operational. So that's our timeline. If you know anyone in the neighborhood who doesn't mind picking up a broom, send them my way. We've got a lot of elbow grease to shed before next Thursday. So
Hey,
thank you all so much for
Dennis,
joining me tonight.
I hate to cut you off right at the end. We just got one question in.
Sure, go
and
ahead.
it's from Helen on our Facebook. She asks, do you anticipate unique needs from the Gallup population experiencing homelessness?
Hi, Helen. Thank you for that's a really important question, because as those of you who live in New Mexico know, Gallup is right on the border of Arizona, which is Navajo land. And so a lot of the cultural needs here are different. The case manager that we hired is fluent in Navajo as well as English. She's the one who started shaping our language about serving relatives rather than serving clients, and starting to talk in that type of language. So appropriate language will be helpful. Another critical issue here is alcoholism. Because the US government forbids alcohol on reservations, it means that Gallup, which is not reservation, is kind of the liquor store on the corner. And so those who are looking for alcohol come to Gallup, and that exacerbates a problem of alcoholism on the streets here in Gallup, which is not unique to Gallup, but it is definitely an area of focus and concern that we will definitely be looking at for support. The other thing too is the housing market is really dismal compared to the needs, and employment is quite a challenge in Gallup as well. A couple of the major employers have left. The mining group recently dropped 140 jobs. And so I'm getting educated on that. So Helen, I appreciate the question, and more to come.
And I don't see any else. I don't see any more, rather. So.
Well, it's a full 30 minutes with you all. I appreciate seeing your faces. Those of you that had cameras, and those of you that had photos, enjoy those as well. And so we will see you again next month. Invite your friends, share the video, and be well.